What if I told you that the roll of toilet paper sitting in your bathroom right now is connected to the destruction of millions of trees every single year? It sounds dramatic, maybe even exaggerated, but it isn't. It's one of those everyday objects we never question, never think about, and never associate with environmental damage. Toilet paper feels harmless because it disappears almost instantly. You use it for a few seconds, flush it away, and move on with your life. Out of sight, out of mind. But behind that convenience is a global system quietly cutting down forests to support a habit we barely notice. We talk about climate change constantly. We argue about cars, airplanes, factories, oil companies, and plastic straws. We debate emissions, policies, and global responsibility. Yet somehow, one of the most wasteful paper products on Earth rarely enters the conversation. Toilet paper is used once and thrown away forever. There is no reuse, no second life, no recovery. It's a single-use product designed to vanish instantly, which makes it easy to ignore its impact. But that disappearance comes at a very real cost. Every day, roughly 27,000 trees are cut down just to make toilet paper. Over the course of a year, that number climbs to around 9.8 million trees. Let that sink in. Entire forests are being converted into something that exists for seconds before being flushed into a sewer system. And this isn't happening in distant, abstract places. Many of these trees come from boreal forests, old-growth forests, and ecosystems that take decades, sometimes centuries, to recover. These forests are not just collections of trees. They are living systems that store carbon, regulate climate, protect wildlife, and sustain indigenous communities. When a forest is cut down for paper production, the damage doesn't end with the loss of trees. Wildlife loses habitat, soil becomes unstable. Carbon that was stored safely in wood and roots is released back into the atmosphere. Water cycles are disrupted. Entire ecosystems are weakened, all to support a product designed for extreme convenience. And because toilet paper feels cheap and disposable, demand never slows down. In fact, it keeps growing as populations increase and consumption rises. Now imagine what happens if nothing changes. Imagine a future where we continue cutting down millions of trees every year for something we use without thinking. Forests shrink, biodiversity declines, climate systems become more unstable, the planet absorbs more carbon instead of storing it, all for a habit that lasts less than 5 seconds at a time. When you frame it that way, the imbalance becomes impossible to ignore. We are trading long-term environmental stability for momentary comfort. Here's the twist most people don't expect. This problem already has solutions. We're not stuck. Recycled toilet paper exists, and it dramatically reduces the need to cut down new trees. Bamboo-based toilet paper exists too, and bamboo grows incredibly fast, sometimes up to a meter per day. Unlike trees, bamboo can be harvested without killing the plant, allowing it to regrow quickly while still absorbing carbon. These alternatives aren't futuristic ideas. They're already on store shelves. They already work, and they already reduce environmental damage. So why don't more people use them? Because the problem is invisible. We don't see the forests, we don't see the trees falling, we don't see the factories or the supply chains. All we see is a clean white roll in a bathroom. The connection between that roll and a forest halfway across the world feels abstract, distant, and easy to ignore. Convenience wins because awareness is low. There's also comfort in routine. Most people buy the same brands they've always bought. They don't question it. They don't research it. And companies rarely advertise the environmental cost of their products. The system is designed to keep the damage hidden while the product stays familiar and cheap. That's why this issue doesn't feel urgent, even though the numbers say it is. But perspective changes everything. Once you understand the connection, it's hard to unsee it. That roll of paper is no longer just a bathroom item. It's a symbol of how modern life often prioritizes convenience over consequence. It shows how small repeated habits, multiplied by billions of people, can quietly reshape the planet. The hopeful part is that change doesn't require massive sacrifice. It doesn't require perfection. It starts with awareness. Choosing recycled or bamboo toilet paper isn't going to save the planet on its own, but it's a meaningful step. It reduces demand for virgin trees. It supports better supply chains. And it sends a signal that consumers care about what happens before and after a product reaches their hands. Sometimes the biggest environmental shifts don't start in boardrooms or government buildings. Sometimes they start in the most ordinary places imaginable. Sometimes saving the planet starts in the bathroom. It starts with noticing what we usually ignore. It starts with asking where things come from and where they go after we're done with them. Because once you see the full story behind everyday objects, it becomes clear that even the smallest choices carry weight, and when millions of people make slightly better choices, the impact becomes anything but small. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, make sure to drop a like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos. See you in the next video.